Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Katie the Foodie. Today I'm going to be making Thanksgiving dinner, and the 4 dishes I'm going to be making today are chicken, macaroni and cheese, dressing, and green bean casserole. So keep watching and I hope you enjoy. Here I have pretty much all my ingredients. I'm not gonna list them off obviously because it's so many, but I'm gonna be making macaroni and cheese, like I said, green bean casserole. You have here some of the dressing ingredients here, chicken seasonings here, and then this is the cornbread that I made yesterday. And so it's kind of want your cornbread to be a little old. Find that from my grandma. So this is the cornbread that I made yesterday. So that's here and ready. So yeah, so now we're gonna get started.
Okay, so for the drumsticks, I'm cooking them in the crock pot. I'm putting them on high. I'm putting them on high because I only want to cook them for about 4 to 5 hours. So I'm putting them on high, and I'm going to spray the crock pot first. It's also really nice that I'm making this with a crock pot because then that frees up one more of my dishes and also frees up space in the oven. Because if you know, Thanksgiving, the hardest part is to juggle all the dishes like cooking in the oven around the same time. So this kind of allows me to free some of that up. Okay. These are drumsticks. Okay, so I'm gonna put a drop of water on the bottom. I put the crock pot, put the temperature on high. I put all the drumsticks in. I put about half a cup of water in, some seasoning sauce, some garlic powder, and some Thai seasoning. And I get in there with that Thai seasoning. I love Thai seasoning on chicken, especially in the crock pot. Okay. And then a little bit of pepper. I spray on top a little bit, just a little bit. And then, yeah, that's about it. So that's gonna be the easiest part. I'm not cooking turkey because I'm not a huge fan of turkey. It's only gonna be a meal for 2, and we don't need that much meat. So this is what we've got for the meat.
So the first dish I'm gonna make is macaroni and cheese, and I'm so excited to see how this is gonna turn out because I got Colby Jack, I got White Cheddar, and I got sharp cheddar. So these 3 together, I'm interested to see. I also have shredded mild cheddar, so I'm gonna mix some of that in, and I'm also gonna use that for the top. So yeah, so we're gonna start by working on the macaroni and cheese. The best part of Thanksgiving. If you don't think so, then comment down below what your favorite Thanksgiving food is, because honestly mine's macaroni and cheese, so we can't be friends. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is boil the water for the macaroni. So I'm gonna fill up this bowl like halfway. It's pretty large, this pot, so halfway. Okay. This burner kind of boils water fast, so I'm not expecting that to take a long time. Y'all, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving dinner. I've been trying to force myself not to make Thanksgiving dinner a week early because all week I haven't been working, so I've been wanting to make it. I'm staring at these ingredients in my fridge, struggling. And so now it's finally time, and I'm so excited. Oh my god, this is going so much smoother. The first time I used this, I haven't really used a lot of shredders because usually I just cut the cheese. But I found this shredder in the dollar store. I shop at the dollar store like a mad woman. So found it at the dollar store, works great, never have had any problems. It might get dull faster, I'm not sure. I've only used it twice, but so yeah, I'm just shredding it, almost done with the first block. And I think I'm just gonna shred the cheese, boil the water, or boil the noodles, and then I'm gonna get started on the green bean casserole, just to kind of get everything together, and then in 2 hours I'll probably put everything together. So probably get everything prepped right now. because the chicken's gonna take a little bit of time. I need to get the like cut-proof gloves because this scares the heck out of me, to be honest. When you get to the last part, honestly, I'm just gonna cut that part because I am not trying to cut my finger on YouTube. Set a bad example for safety, and then y'all been cutting your fingers, so y'all be like me. Oh, hold up. This shreds really nicely. So now I'm shredding the white cheddar. I'm like manhandling this right now, but I'm shredding the white cheddar and it's shredding really nicely. I don't know why in my head white cheddar was like this really, really hard cheese. I don't think it is. I don't know. That was just my rationale. I don't know why I thought that. So, almost done with this. It smells so good. Oh my god, it smells so good. I'm not even like I don't know. I do eat a lot of cheese, so I'm not gonna say that. I do eat my cheese. I'm a cheese person for sure. But, I don't know. Things with like white cheddar, I don't normally eat like white cheddar cheese. Like white cheddar popcorn. I can't talk. White cheddar powdered popcorn. I don't like. It's just like bitter. And so I didn't expect the cheese to taste like, to smell like this. Because it smells similar to the normal cheddar I use. Okay, so I just finished shredding all the cheese. It smells so good. All 3 cheeses in here. It's heavy. And now the water's done boiling, so I'm gonna pour the pasta in. I think I'm gonna pour, honestly, I think I'm gonna pour this whole thing in there. This is about 2 pounds, and it's a little bit less than half. I think that will definitely be. I poured it in there before I had time to think about it. Actually, I think I need more. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's not enough. I ended up with half of a box of macaroni and cheese the first time I made this, is because that's definitely enough. And I eyeballed that, so I think it was about a pound. A pound of macaroni was definitely what I used, because that was about a pound. This was like a third of a box, and I just used like a fourth. I don't know. It was about a pound, just like that. I'm so excited to eat. I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so next I'm gonna cut up. Oh gosh. Next I'm gonna cut up this celery. I think I'm gonna take like 3 stalks to start, and I'm gonna cut up a whole onion. Let me think. So this is the cornbread. The cornbread's right here that I'm gonna use for it. But the cornbread's right here, so I think like 3. It's funny how you eyeball things. Like, but I think I'm gonna use 4 stalks and then call it a day. And an onion, and do it that way. Pasta's pasting. Y'all ever hear me say that? Like the noodles noodling, the pasta's not like. I make everything a verb nowadays. I just keep hearing. I watch too much YouTube, too much TikTok. Okay, so the noodles are done. The cheese is shredded. The cornbread's already done. I'm trying to keep track of what I need to do. So. I'm gonna heat up this pan. I'm gonna cook the onions and the celery for the dressing, and then after that I'll probably start mixing up my concoction for the green bean casserole. So now I'm gonna put the vegetables in here to cook for dressing. You want these vegetables to be cooked when they go into the mixture. It's gonna be good.
all of this. So for the dressing, I'm going to use celery, onion, and then sage and the cornbread, and I'm going to mix it all up, and it's going to be so yummy. And I'm also going to reduce some chicken broth. I say reduce because I use chicken bouillon. About 3 cups of water in here. So 3 bouillon cubes of concentrated chicken broth. And this is for the dressing. Water, this pan, and that's for the chicken broth for the dressing. So I'm just gonna let that cook because I had used bouillon cubes and I can't put bouillon cubes in the actual dish, so that's the reason why I do that. This is they're starting to sweat and cook down. I'm gonna wait until the onions are translucent to take it out. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I just dropped some of that into the sink. But the first thing I'm gonna do is take this cornbread out of here and crumble it. Okay, let me stop tearing up my skillet. Okay. Oh yeah. This cornbread is nice and dry. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in this bowl. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Make sure I get it all out. Okay. Perfect. So first thing I did was pour the cornbread into the bowl, and I'm gonna crumble it. Crumble, 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 crumble. I'll keep some big crumbs in there. Okay, I'm gonna put the vegetables in. These are perfectly cooked. I'm gonna put the vegetables in, and then I got this. I'll pour a little bit in, but I got this chicken stock. I'm gonna stir it up. Stir. Kind of get it mixed up first. I think that's enough vegetables. I estimated that correctly. I didn't want too much. I think that's a perfect mix. This was looking like too far. Starting to smell like home. Ooh, might put some more chicken stock in here. Get it nice and moist. And looks good. I'm going to add a little bit more moisture. Now I was going to do half bread. Like I was gonna do half Italian bread, half cornbread, but it was all eaten. So we're just doing cornbread, which I don't really mind, whatever. I'm eating it, it'll be fine. It's not I think I'm gonna need to use all of this actually. But so this is moist, and I feel like this is a really good consistency. So I'm gonna season it. I'm gonna season this with Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning, sage. Sage is always the #1 seasoning that you want to put in your dressing. And I just bought some, so I have to open it up. But I'm gonna put a good deal of that. I'm gonna put some salt. I always gotta have the salt. Put some pepper. I'll mix it up. It's looking good, honestly. And then it smells good. I think it's seasoned the way I want it. Like putting my whole head in the bowl. But I want to taste it. That tastes like dressing the way I grew up eating it, for sure. I'll put a little more salt in there. But it's supposed to be a little sweet, so I'm not putting a lot. But it tastes like it. Tastes good for sure. Make sure that it's well mixed so we don't have one part of it not mixed. In the pan. And then I'm gonna, ooh, that looks good. 1 dish down, 3 to go, and 1 is in progress. 2 are in progress. So I'm gonna spread that out, put it in the fridge. Okay, so the next thing we are going to get started on is the green bean casserole. So what I'm gonna do first is put some butter in the pan. I don't often use a ton of like real butter when I'm cooking. I do when I'm baking, but when I'm cooking I don't. But holidays calls for this. My great grandma used to swear by Blue Bonnet around the holidays, so I thought I'd get some. So I'm gonna use about 3 tablespoons of it. I'm gonna use, you definitely can tell the difference in the creaminess of it, but it's a thick stick of butter for sure. I love mushrooms, so we're gonna use it. I saw some recipes don't really call for mushrooms in green bean casserole, but I like mushrooms, so I'm gonna use them. Okay, so I'm gonna put in, I'm gonna saute in these mushrooms. I want a good amount of butter for the dish, not necessarily for the mushrooms, so that's why I put it in there. Oof. I'm using canned mushrooms because it's just easier. That way I don't have the pressure of having to cook them right when I buy them. They might kind of look a little bit, they honestly, what is that they look like? It's a type of seafood. Why can't I think of it right now? But anyway. So I'm gonna cook these mushrooms down. And then they're gonna take a minute. No, So I got some mushrooms in the pan and I'm letting those saute. And oops, so I'm letting those saute and cook a little bit. So now I'm going to put some half and half in there. And then bring that to a simmer. I'll put a tablespoon of flour in it for sure so that it'll thicken up it'll thicken up in the process of cooking. I'm gonna let this simmer, thicken up. Oh yeah. I like how that's definitely getting thicker. That's the way I want it to be, for sure. I want it to be creamy and thick so that when it bakes, it'll be perfect. You know it's thick when you run your spatula through the pan and it leaves a line. So I know that this is thick enough, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this down so I don't scorch it or anything, which I think I'm already starting to. I'm mixing the green beans in. I'm gonna add some garlic salt, seasoning salt. I'm gonna add some pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of cheddar cheese. I saw some people put cheese in it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that. So I'm putting a little bit of cheese, not a lot because we're eating a meal full of cheese. I feel like that might bring a hint of something good. And then I'm actually gonna add a few of the fried onions actually in the dish as well. So this is definitely gonna be one of the smaller. See, I'm making this for 2 people, so it's definitely gonna be a smaller dish than I normally would make because I'm making a bunch of side dishes. So yeah, it's gonna be good for sure. I think it's gonna be good. And let's get this in. So I'm gonna spray the pan. I'm gonna add green bean casserole in there. Looks good. It's definitely going to be good. Okay. So flatten that out. And I'm going to add the onions. Ooh, those look good. Looks good, for sure. And then add some cheese on top. And add a little bit of cheese on top. I think that's gonna be really, really good. So we'll see. We will see. And this is dish 2, complete. Okay, so the last dish for me to get together is the macaroni and cheese. First and last dish that I'm working on. I put flour, butter, and milk in this pan, and so now I'm gonna put some good old cheese, and I'm just gonna add it in about a handful at a time. I'm letting it melt. It melts pretty fast because it's shredded, so this process doesn't take too long. Last time I was really shocked by how fast the process was. Just put in the rest of the cheese. I'm gonna stir this, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, and yeah, it's really, really getting to a good point. I'm going to probably add about half a bag of this mild cheddar. We'll call it a call it a day. It's definitely getting thick to the point that I want it at. The first thing I'm gonna do is put the cheese sauce in there. And mix that up. Since it lost some of its moisture. And stir. So it's all mixed up. So the main things that I season with for macaroni and cheese is black powder and season salt. And then mix. Looks good. So far, looks good. Make sure the seasoning is really mixed well. And honestly, you want to taste it? I definitely think it needs my black powder. That white cheddar really adds a different kind of flavor than I'm used to making it with. So that's definitely good for sure. Add a little bit more milk. And then mix it up. It's almost done. Pretty much done from here. And then I'm gonna put one egg in. This is a trick because this really adds like a light flavor to it, like a light. So I sprayed this pan already. Laying that down. It looks very, very good. Even that out. And put some cheese on that boy. Definitely looks very good. And then add some paprika on there just to add some color. Not really though. It doesn't really add any flavor. But yeah. So that's gonna go in once the oven preheats. We're gonna put that in the oven at this point, and then I'm gonna put the timer on like 20 minutes. And at 20 minutes, I'll uncover the macaroni and cheese, and then I'll put the other two dishes in. Meanwhile, check on this chicken. I think it's pretty much almost done. So I'll let it keep cooking for the next 40 minutes, and then we're almost done. At this point, everything's pretty much in the oven. Well, everything is in the oven. The macaroni and cheese is looking really, really good. And chicken I put in the oven just to get some last minute cooking done because I don't feel like waiting any longer. This is the green bean casserole, and then that is the dressing. So we're gonna let that bake, and then I'll show you the final result. Everything's finally done. I'm so excited to try everything. I made a little bit of gravy, but everything looks really, really good.